Good morning, good day, greetings from Redwood City. And I am happy to be sitting here with you all, reflecting on that today. The topic for the talk will be joy, and how there are many different kinds of joys. There's a joy of kind of contentment with what you have in the moment. There can be joy or happiness with one's ethical behavior. There can be joy and happiness with one's faith in the practice, faith in the Dharma. It can be joy and happiness with how one engages in activity, one's interest and involvement. And that's particularly the joy of the 7 factors of awakening. And part of that is the joy comes from the kind of a feeling of rightness, the rightness of being present for what is. And even if things are difficult, there can be a feeling that it's right. It's the right thing to do, to really be present for the experience of that and acknowledge it, be open for it. Certainly not resist it or spend a lot of time in the control tower judging it or judging oneself or planning or fixing or imagining futures. But the rightness of really kind of embodying the experience, being present for it, as if everything that's coursing through us is to be respected, made room for, to be met with a presence of mind and body. And part of the joy of the Dharma is a suffusing feeling through the body that's refreshing. And so oddly enough, even when things are quite difficult, to not resist anything but really be present and to take one's stand, to take one's place where one abides in the meeting of things, in the really being there for it. And I put my hands together like this and saying this meeting of things because it's a kind of a respectful thing to do, or maybe even a sacred thing to do, to really be here and to meet what is happening. So to begin this process, to take a meditation posture, a posture with which you're going to meet yourself, meet the experience of the moment as it's experienced subjectively, in the sense that we're experiencing from the inside out, as opposed to our thinking about it, evaluating anything. What I mean by subjective is inhabiting our bodies. And in inhabiting our bodies, experiencing all things with that reference point of the body. Taking a few long, slow, deep breaths. Feeling maybe the rib cage is stretch and expand as you breathe in. Feeling the release of the rib cage, the diaphragm, the belly as you exhale. And perhaps, if it's not difficult, to participate in the releasing, letting go of the exhale. Maybe there's a simple way of releasing more fully at the end of the exhale. And then letting your breathing return to normal. And searching around your body, feeling your body, to see where you might be able to relax, release some of the holdings in the body, around muscles of the face, the shoulders, the belly, and maybe if there's any tension or pressure in the brain area, forehead, behind the forehead, perhaps you can relax and soften, especially if that area is associated with a lot of thinking. Softening and relaxing the area of thinking. And as you hear with your body, is there any place in your body, even if it's just the slightest little corner of the body, where you feel something that feels refreshing or contented or joyful? Maybe a certain pleasure of just being, the beingness, sense of aliveness. And if there is such a place, breathe with it. Breathe through it. And very gently, without any ambition, let that joy or contentment have a gentle influence on how you're aware. So that how you're aware is also somehow brings you a sense of contentment or ease or pleasure, even joy, or a feeling of rightness to meet the experience, to be here. And for these few minutes we're meditating, you do have permission to not think about anything beyond the meditation. It is okay to allow yourself to really immerse yourself in your lived experience of the present moment. Perhaps immersing yourself in your breathing. Meeting the breathing, becoming the breathing, enjoying just breathing, or enjoying your ability to meet your breathing, to be aware of it. Now that we're sitting here for a few minutes, perhaps your body is a little bit more subtle than when you started. And it's possible to let go of your thoughts and settle in more into your body, to allow the subtleness or the shift in the body to be a support, a meeting place where awareness can reside, sensing and feeling whatever is enjoyable or pleasant in the body, without expectations or trying to make more of it, as a way to a little bit more fully have a way of being aware that itself is enjoyable, that present moment awareness feels refreshing or satisfying. What would it take for that to occur? And then as we come to the end of this sitting, I'd like to evoke the feeling of gentle joy, a quiet joy, a kind of capacity of quiet appreciation, quiet delighting in other people. Doesn't have to be exuberant or even recognized by others. But we do have the capacity to appreciate and value and even delight in others. And then as we meet them and they're meeting us, perhaps that could be in the forefront for us, that we can meet them with our joy, our delight, our appreciation, more than meeting them with our preoccupation or our anxiety or what we're trying to do or accomplish or prove or apologize for. But to be able to be settled and at home and at ease with ourselves, and in that ease become a little clearer channel to being happy to know someone else, to delight in them, enjoy them. Not that they have to know it. And may it be that this practice we do in seen and unseen ways conveys our deep appreciation for other people, our love or our delight in others. And may it be that we meet others and talk to others with that appreciation, that we take the time to be present so we can appreciate, delight in the other. And in so doing, our meeting of others, our thinking about others, our talking with others, might carry in it a deep, heartfelt wish that may all beings be happy, may all beings be safe, may all beings be healthy, may all beings know that they're appreciated, valued, that they and their lives matter to us. That we belong to each other. The kind of appreciation where we know that we're all kin to each other. May all beings be happy. So good day and greetings. And this is now the fourth talk on the 7 factors of awakening. The 7 factors of awakening are paired, kind of an oppositional pair, between the 5 hindrances and the 7 factors of awakening. That in between those two, in the teachings of the Buddha, is the 4 foundations of mindfulness. And the 4 foundations of the mindfulness are how we go from being caught up in the 5 hindrances to experiencing the 7 factors of awakening, the practice of mindfulness. The 7 factors of awakening, the word in Pali, the 5 hindrances for them, is nivarana. And nivarana literally means a covering. So rather than hindering something, they cover over something. They cover over our capacity for wisdom, they cover over our capacity for concentration and subtleness, for appreciating this world in a deep way. And as mindfulness develops, it begins to uncover, remove that covering. And as the coverings get taken off, then it's kind of like the covers being taken off a light bulb. If the light bulb is on, but there's a heavy blanket over it, it doesn't light up the room. But as we take off the covers, then the light shines. And so the 7 factors of awakening are what shine, come forth as the covering of preoccupation. And the 5 hindrances are the ways the mind gets so preoccupied in things that it kind of shuts down a clear awareness of the present moment. It's kind of like the 7 factors of awakenings can be so strong that they distract us from the fact that we're distracted. Distraction so strong that we're distracted from the fact we're distracted. First, what happens as we develop mindfulness, first we know we're distracted. That's a huge positive step. Rather than being discouraged when you finally know you're distracted, actually this is actually on the path of waking up, of uncovering the fact that we're distracted. So this 4th factor of awakening is joy. And as I talked about yesterday about the effort factor, there are 2 kind of components of joy that arises in practice. One is the joy that gets released in the body as we keep opening and relaxing and softening and being present. And so we can actually feel this suffusing joy. The ancient language is one of suffusion. And it's understood to be a joy which is refreshing, has a deep satisfying feeling. And so you can actually feel that well up in the body. The other kind of quality of joy has to do with a certain kind of joy, delight, contentment, happiness that comes forth how we're aware. The fact that we are meeting, we are showing up, that we're really here for experience. And that second kind of joy is particularly important because oftentimes we don't feel joy in life and joy in our body. There's pain and suffering in ourselves and the world around us. And but to show up for that and really be present for it and experience it clearly, cleanly, there's a rightness to that. Perhaps the word joy should not be applied to situations, how we feel in situations that are of great suffering or difficulty in the world, for example, in friends and family and society. But there is a kind of feeling, maybe you'll have to find your own kind of words for this rather than taking my words, but a kind of feeling of rightness that, yes, I'm here for this. This feels, if it's happening, it feels right to be here. There's a very clean feeling of letting it come and course through us. That can happen if we don't close down or react or contract to it. It's more like we keep opening to the suffering, respectfully, wisely, but still, in that opening and allowing, there's a feeling of rightness, of goodness, and may I dare say, even a kind of joy or satisfaction to feel that openness with even things that are difficult. So this capacity of these two kinds of joy come into play as we keep practicing. So first, we have to be here. And this mindfulness practice is to really learn how to really embody the present moment, really inhabit the present moment with awareness, all the attentional faculties we have, not so much by working, but by certainly developing capacity and interest and motivation to be present, but also to learn to relax to the present, settle in here. And I find it very significant for me personally that the lived experience is only here for this moment. That if I'm lost in the past and the future, I've lost touch with the only thing that really exists in a certain way in the world of experience, and that is the lived experience of the moment. And to learn to trust that and inhabit that and not miss the opportunity to be alive, not miss the opportunity to experience ourselves as conscious beings in the present moment, here. And then to have this curiosity, interest, what is here? And in order to see it more clearly, to recognize it more clearly. And as we recognize what's happening more clearly, we make distinctions. We see things in the particularity of them, the detail of them. And so we do what and we see. And what we see is we see there are distinctions and differences between things. And we can start choosing both this is where I want to be. This is where attention is. This is how I'm going to pay attention. And so this ability to choose, to recognize that there's a way of being, a way of attending, a way of things to attend to, that the system we have wants to pay attention to, wants to connect to, or where it feels right to be present for, rightness to it. And it's not so much a matter of working or doing something new, but in making seeing clearly what's going on, recognizing where the path is, recognizing where the rightness is, recognize this is the place to be. This being with the breath, this way of being with the breath. So when all those things begin kind of settling in to some degree, then the word that I associate with the joy factor of awakening is the word yes. It's a saying yes to the experience. This is about being with it, and yes is yes, we open to this. Yes, this is it. And in fact, it's possible to have that yes with pain. Now, pain itself is a drag in a certain kind of way. But there's also the way we meet the pain. Yes, I'll open to it. Yes, I'll be here with this. Yes, I'll be here with this person. Yes, I'll be here with the food that I eat. Yes, I'm going to really be here for the experience of washing dishes or cleaning the kitchen floor. Yes, I'm now here being with the breathing and meditation. Yes. And so this meeting and connecting and saying yes and to be it. And that yes carries, for me, is kind of some modicum or idea of joy, delight, appreciation of in that opening, in that giving myself to that experience more fully. And so the joy factor begins to arise. And some of it has to do with being able to give ourselves over fully, completely to the experience of the moment. Some people have the experience of reading a wonderful book, and it's the joy of being absorbed in reading the book, or absorbed in some hobby or craft that we're doing, or some work we're doing, that really it's the unification, the harmony, the non-distractedness, the non-fragmentation, or the mind jumping around doing many different things, of just fully being present for one thing. there's something about the harmony of doing that, that all this physiologically, psychologically, maybe even biochemically, neurologically, that the coming together and being smooth and being working together and kind of all the, the kinks or the roughness of the surface has been smoothed out, and we can glide and smooth. It's a kind of flow with the experience. Sometimes I liken it when it really becomes strong, this joy, this delight of really being here. To me, it feels like how I felt sometimes when I've gone body surfing and I've caught the wave, and I'm being carried by the wave in this wonderful way, being caught by the breath, caught by the present moment, and being surfing along. Just kind of exhilarating feeling, a little bit. Here. So it's not so much we make ourselves feel that, but we give ourselves yes over to one thing. And this ability to really be collected on one thing, one breath, one experience, one present moment here for this, just this present moment. Not present moments in other places, not present moments in other times, but this place, this time, and just yes to fully for this. And that's a process to do that. It certainly takes time, and I certainly didn't experience kind of meditative joy for a long time. I didn't, but the process of getting there, of being here over and over again, of seeing more clearly, that comes with a what, of being able to know the this that we pay attention to, this that's important right now. Not the this of fantasy, not the this of criticism and preoccupation, but the this of the body being this of breathing, this of an awareness which is with the present moment. The this of an awareness which is not in conflict with what is, but is open to what is. And then to give ourselves fully to something with the word yes. Yes, this is what we're doing. This is where we are. Yes, with this kind of attention. Yes, to a kind of silence which is luminous, a silence which is clear, a stillness that allows us to really be fully here for this experience. And then I hope that the degree to which we are able to put aside our preoccupations, our concerns when we sit to meditate, and we start settling into this deeper capacity for well-being that's here, that as we come out of meditation and go into our world, that we translate that, we apply that to the world around us, so that we have a clear sense that our meditation practice is not just for ourselves, but it's also for the welfare and happiness of all beings. May our joy be contagious. Thank you.